Hi, today we'll be talking about unit vectors. And any vector of magnitude 1 unit is called a unit vector. Examples: I and the j unit vectors. See details of both of these vectors in my previous videos. Now if we have a line OPQ, where OP represents the vector R, OQ is length 1 unit, then the vector OQ represents a unit vector in the direction R. Right? So we have a definition of the unit vector is of magnitude of 1 unit, examples I and j. And if we have a line OPQ where OP represents the vector R, OQ is of length 1 unit, then OQ represents a unit vector in the direction of the vector R. Right, so one thing I forgot to mention is that a unit vector represented previously on the previous slide is actually a vector written as R hat. So, and that represents a unit vector in the direction of R. We call that R hat, the vector R hat. If we look at this diagram here, we have OQ from here to here, this distance, which is 1 unit. So we have OQ is equal to 1. And if we have that OP is a distance D, OP, the whole length of the line is D, then we have that the vector OP is equal to the scalar DOQ. So it's a scalar D multiplied by OQ to give OP. But we know that D is equal to the magnitude of R. So if you find the magnitude of R, we find the length OP, which is equivalent to D. Hence we can write that the vector R is equal to the magnitude of R. So we substitute in here for D, which is the magnitude of R, times OQ. And we said previously in a previous slide that OQ is R hat. So we have R hat here. So we can say in general that any vector, let's say it's V, can be expressed as the product of its magnitude. So if it's a vector V, you can express it as the product of its magnitude times a unit vector in the same direction. and that would be expressed as v hat. And this is a very useful and important definition of vectors. So given the magnitude and a vector, a unit vector in the same direction, we can actually determine what that vector is. Thanks for watching. I'm Alistair.